Hello, Wonderhussy here, huffing and puffing my way up a trail in the beautiful San Juan National Forest of Colorado, heading for, well, kind of like a hot spring. It's not technically a hot spring, it's a warm spring, but I don't think it's really the kind of warm spring you want to soak in. So why am I even bothering to hike to it at all if I can't soak in it, you might wonder? Well, just because I can't soak in it doesn't mean it's not interesting. It looks like a really interesting geologic, geothermal phenomenon. It's the only geyser in the entire state of Colorado. And from the pictures I've seen, it's beautiful. It's like this, well, it's kind of the color of my jacket, actually. If the pictures I've seen are to be believed, and as we all know, well, you can't believe everything you see online. But guess what? You can't believe everything you read in books either, because this hot spring guidebook that I basically use as a Bible to find hot springs all over the West, well, believe it or not, this hot spring is listed in the guidebook, and there's a picture of a woman soaking in it. Now, according to what I read online and the information at the trailhead there, you most definitely should not soak in this hot spring because apparently it can emit dangerous levels of carbon monoxide, I think, some kind of toxic gases, and you could pass out. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with this guidebook, which has always been very trusty in the past. So I figure there's only one way to get to the bottom of this mystery, and that's huff and puff my way up this mountain and go check out this dang geyser for myself. I mean, either way, even if I can't soak in the geyser, it's still a beautiful trail through a gorgeous forest. And, well, it's not raining yet. That's why I'm wearing this jacket. It did sprinkle on me a little bit at the trailhead. And you never know, here in Colorado, it seems like every afternoon in the summertime, they get these crazy thunderstorms. Matter of fact, yesterday I was caught in a hailstorm at my campsite. That's right, a hailstorm. It was actually awesome because I had already gotten to camp and sort of made camp, and well, I just sat in the back of my car and it was very cozy. Wouldn't be the same if it started hailing on me now. So let's hope I can get to this geyser and solve the mystery before the weather does anything crazy. Sun's out again, so I guess that's a good sign. I mean, this is an absolutely beautiful trail through an aspen forest. I'm doing this hike on August 11th, so everything is still lush and green and beautiful. But before you know it, all these aspen leaves are going to turn the most beautiful golden color. If you've ever seen aspen in the fall, oh my gosh, the leaves turn bright yellow and it's absolutely amazing. And then I guess the leaves turn yellow and then they kind of, I guess they're dying, so they become stiffer. And when the wind blows through them, it sounds like, oh my gosh, it sounds like a wind chime kind of, or a rain stick maybe is a better way to describe it. Really interesting rattly sound. So doing this trail in the fall would probably be pretty amazing too. But then you wouldn't get to see all these gorgeous wildflowers. Oh my God. I'm from the desert, y'all. I'm not used to this. It's amazing. Oh man, all this uphill and sunshine. I don't really need my jacket anymore. That's the thing about Colorado in the summertime. You gotta have the clothes for any kind of weather. I'm just wearing a little day pack because it's only a 1.5 mile hike. But even still, I have my satellite phone, I've got matches, I've got a space blanket, I got a rain poncho. You know, just a few emergency odds and ends that I might end up needing. I suppose if I breathe in this toxic gas from the geyser, that Garmin InReach could really come in handy. Ooh. I mean, unless that's me, and it isn't, I can smell sulfur. So that must mean we're getting close to the geyser. I mean, to be honest, I think this trail's about a mile long. I don't even know. I just took somebody's word for it. I'm just hiking until I come to something that's very obviously a geyser. But the smell of sulfur, you know, like that rotten egg smell, it's pretty heavy here. So maybe there's just like geothermal activity in this whole area. And it's just sort of seeping out of the ground. Like BO coming from your pores. The earth's body odor. I love it. Incidentally, before you go making fun of me for huffing and puffing, I'm not really out of shape, but we're at like 9,000 feet almost, so that kind of elevation will make anybody huff and puff. Unless you live here full time, I guess. But for landlubbers like me who come from down around sea level, whew, you gotta fight for every breath. Okay, I'm just gonna keep hiking until the trail runs out, I guess, because I don't notice the smell of sulfur anymore. I can't imagine that I hiked right past it. Oh, look at this. There's some kind of geothermal activity going on. Okay, I'm almost positive this isn't the geyser because the pictures I've seen, it's much bigger and it's much bluer. And then there's clearly a sign, a warning sign next to it warning you about gases. There's no sign here, so I better not. I probably shouldn't breathe too deeply because it might be the same thing. I am curious though to see how hot it is. Oh, it's cold. Ice cold actually. An ice cold geyser. How about that? I'll just record a little bit of audio for my ASMR viewers. Wow, that thing is really bubbling. I don't understand how that works though. I thought like a geyser was created by water hitting when it meets the hot magma of the earth and it gets all steamy and the pressure builds up. And so how does a cold geyser form? I don't know. Okay, well, if that thing is bubbling there, then the real geyser must be right around here somewhere, but where? Okay, the trail's starting to look really overgrown, and I just kind of started questioning if I'm actually going the right way or did I somehow accidentally pass by this spring? But whatever you want to say about the old hot spring book, it came through. It says you'll pass a small cold sulfur spring on the right. After 10 more minutes, the trail will pass through an old log fence and a sign reading foot travel only. Continue a couple minutes downhill to the spring. Boy, talk about a treasure hunt. Oh, look, we're coming up to the wooden fence they were talking about. And there's the sign. Just like it said in the book, it says, sensitive area, foot travel only. Well, I guess that's because, well, the trail's pretty narrow, but I guess you could horseback ride or ride a dirt bike up it. And it looks like Barb, Kim, and Michelle were here in July of 1991. Carved their names into the aspen bark. I wonder what Barb, Kim, and Michelle are up to today. Let's see, 91. That's like 30 years ago, 31 years ago. Oh gosh, they're probably all married with kids now. Okay, well, if the book is to be believed, we just have to hike downhill a couple minutes. And it hasn't rained yet, although I keep hearing the ominous rumble of thunder in the distance. And the downside to this geyser is it's not constantly erupting. I think it only goes off like every 30, 40 minutes. So if I get here right after it erupted, I'm gonna have to hang out here for like a half hour at least. Not that it has like really big eruptions anyways, I think it just kind of froths and bubbles a little bit, but I still want to see that. Okay, well, it looks like, sounds like there's a creek down there, so that bodes well for the spring being near, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know, the geyser probably feeds the stream, I would guess. I'm just really curious to see this thing. I mean, my friend Rex came and visited me yesterday at my campsite, and he had just been here, and he showed me a picture of it, and it looked like something out of J.R.R. Tolkien. It was amazing. So I don't think he was lying, and I don't think he doctored his picture up. Oh wait, is that it? I mean, I can smell sulfur, and it looks like there is something kind of blue poking through the trees there. Oh my God, yes, I think this is it. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wait. This is unbelievable. I guess that means it's erupting. There's bubbles coming out of it. Okay, I just checked the time and it's 1:36. So, I don't know. That looks like it's erupting to me, right? I mean, it's frothing and bubbling, or does it get even crazier than this? Supposedly the eruptions last about 15 minutes. So I guess I'll hang out for 15 minutes and see if it gets any calmer. Or if I'm lucky, maybe it'll really start going bonkers. Okay, well, while we're waiting for that, here's the sign. Here's the warning sign. Look at this. Warning, oxygen deficient atmosphere. No bathing or swimming. Interesting, because the sign at the beginning of the trail kind of just advised against getting in it. This thing says no bathing or swimming. The geyser located behind this sign is a natural geologic feature that creates an oxygen deficient atmosphere near the water's surface. Periodic eruptions of carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide gas displace oxygen, and swimming or bathing in the geyser exposes one to this environment and could cause a loss of consciousness and potentially death. Then it says the area in front of the sign is generally a safe location from which one can view this geologic feature. However, you should leave the area immediately if you feel lightheaded or nauseous. My friend said when he came here yesterday, and he probably went down closer to it knowing him, he said he did kind of start feeling dizzy for a minute, and he wasn't sure if that was, you know, the gases getting to him, or if it was just like, what do they call that when your brain starts playing tricks on you because of a sign you read? Well, I feel like we should walk down a little bit closer to it, but I'll just hold my breath the entire time. Little known fact, I used to work for a breath holding fetish website. I know it's a really long, complicated story, and one of these days I'll get around to making a video all about all the weird fetishes I did modeling for. But there was this one where guys would get off on watching you hold your breath as long as you could. And so they'd put a swimmer's nose clip on your nose, and you would, I don't want to do it here because I'll breathe in gases, but you would take a bunch of deep breaths, and then you would pack in as much air as you could and then hold your breath as long as you could. And my personal record on that website was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So all of that is just to say I can hold my breath for as long as 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to hold it long enough to go down to the water's edge and shoot some close-up footage. Okay, let me go to an area where I can't smell gas. Over here, nice fresh forest air. And I'm at elevation, so it's going to make this even harder. Golly, I think I only made it about 30 seconds that time. I'm out of practice. Well, it's been years since I did any of those silly fetish modeling gigs, so no wonder I'm out of practice. And like I said, I'm also at elevation. Anyway, God, it's just amazing. I guess that's travertine, those mineral formations that are built up all around the edge here. This is a beautiful pool. Okay, it's not quite the same color as my jacket, but it is still a mysterious sort of milky turquoise color. You know, it's almost as if someone mixed a bowl of milk with Windex. That's good drinking. Actually, I feel like I need to, oh look, it's erupting. I mean, look at it now. You can totally see that it's going way more bonkers than it was when we first got here. The whole pool is roiling. Yes, that's a word, roiling, kind of like boiling. I mean, you can see the whole, like the edges of the pond are like moving, almost like they're gonna splash over. The whole thing is going bonkers. This is so cool. Oh, I do feel kind of lightheaded, but I think it's just from holding my breath. I hope. That being said, I gotta hold my breath again because I forgot to put my finger in it. I want to see how cold it is or warm it is, or I think the book said it was warm, like in the 80s, but I don't always trust that book. Okay, let me go pack some more air in. Hold on. It wasn't warm at all. I mean, depends on your definition of warm. I feel like it was maybe in the 70s. Let me see what the book said. Uh-oh, it's starting to rain too. Okay, let me put my jacket on and then see what the book says. Okay, the book says it's about 82 degrees, which actually does feel about right. I mean, I didn't bring my thermometer with me because I didn't think I was gonna be able to get in here anyways. And gosh, I was kind of in a hurry because there was another car at the trailhead and I wanted to get here before them so I could shoot this video. I mean, in retrospect, I guess I should have been in a hurry more to beat this thunderstorm than just to beat some people. Huh. Yeah, it's still bubbling and boiling and roiling away. That is pretty cool. Man, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me is very tempted to get in this warm spring, despite what the man says. But I ain't no fool. I'm not dumb enough to make a video of myself and post it publicly on YouTube for everyone to see me breaking the, well, I don't know if that's law or just Forest Service advisory. Either way, I don't want to get gassed to death, and who knows how much more it's going to rain, so I feel like I should probably just turn around and hike back. Seems a shame to leave this beautiful, almost magical, mystical looking pool after only being here for a few minutes. You know, I bet there's all kind of hippies, you know, alternative medicine types that soak in this thing anyway. They go, government's not going to tell me what's good for me and what's bad for me. In fact, there's probably some alternative medicine type hippies who think this is actually beneficial for you. In fact, what if this was? What if breathing in whatever gases are coming out of this was actually the fountain of youth and the government just didn't want anyone to know about it? Matter of fact, there's a really fancy hot spring resort just down the road. Like, super fancy. I looked into it because I was kind of curious, and it's like over $1,000 a night to stay in these rustic cabins, and there's a teepee, and I think the Kardashians went there. Well, what if the people who run that resort had some kind of sweetheart deal with the Forest Service, and they were able to capture all those Fountain of Youth gases from this hot spring and pipe them over to their resort? And that's why the Kardashians went and stayed there, because, well, say what you will about the Kardashians, but they are very well-preserved women. I don't know, though. Maybe it really is toxic gas. I mean, I feel like some level of skepticism about the government is beneficial, but you can't be suspicious of everything. I mean, I do think they actually want to protect us at some level. Maybe I'm just naive. Okay, before I leave, I am curious. Okay, so obviously the source of this geyser is coming up from below somewhere. Bubbles are coming up out of the earth. But where is is there overflow going down somewhere? Let me look around the back here. Obviously, I'm not the first one to do this. There's a little trail. Oh, I gotta be careful because the trail might be gassy. Yikes, it's slippery and muddy too. I don't want to fall into the hot spring and break the law. Wow, look at this. So this takes us right around the back of the geyser. Oh my gosh, I'm real close to the geyser. I gotta be careful. Don't breathe, everybody. Now we're on the back side of it. And it is, look, there's like this sickly, toxic green stream running down it a little bit, not too much. Kind of trickling down to meet this creek. That's a normal creek. Fresh, clear, sweet-smelling creek with its foul, sulfurous, gaseous, mysterious neighbor up the hill. Okay, let me get around this geyser. I'm just going to walk around the edge of it. I'm going to hold my breath. Whew. I think I'm taking these gases maybe more seriously than I have to. Okay, well, it's kind of starting to rain a little harder now, so I guess I'm just gonna hike back down the trail and leave this magical, mystical witch's cauldron of a geyser bubbling peacefully in this beautiful forest. It almost does seem like a witch's cauldron, doesn't it? But like a good witch's cauldron, you know, like if you come up here and throw something into it, your wish will come true. Like say you were in love with somebody and they didn't love you, but if you were able to get like a lock of their hair or one of their toenail clippings and sprinkle it into this magical geyser, then the goddess of the geyser would grant your wish. And before you know it, well, the person that you loved would love you too. Huh. Or like, what if you needed to make a bunch of money to like pay off some medical bills or something? And so you come out here and sprinkle a few pennies into the geyser and, well, next thing you know, your money comes back 100,000-fold, and you can pay off your health insurance and continue to live debt-free. I don't know. I mean, I do have plenty of stuff to wish for, but I didn't bring anything to sprinkle into the geyser. So I'll just do a symbolic scattering of, a metaphorical scattering of good wishes and love and peace and happiness and, oh, goddess of the geyser, may I never lose my sense of wonder and enjoyment for this amazing world. And may I always find a way to stay happy. I think it worked, because even though it's pissing rain on me, I feel pretty happy. Thank you, goddess. Now I must take my leave from you and race back through the magical forest before it starts hailing on me. Because I can be happy through a lot of stuff, but getting struck by lightning, that might be a challenge.